The tomb of the unknown soldier at Arlington National Cemetery is guarded 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, rain or shine. And now TBD segment producer Alison Kenworthy gives us a look into the lives of these elite guards who never leave the tomb's side.
We have a saying down here, it's called line 6, and it is the 6th line of the Sentinels creed, and it is "my standard will remain perfection." And that is something that we as tomb guards use down here on a daily basis. You have a series of 5 tests that you need to pass in order to earn your tomb guard identification badge, and you are required to learn 16 pages of knowledge, verbatim, word for word, period for period, punctuation for punctuation. Blouse, please. Specialist Anthony here is in training, and he is responsible for blousing up the soldiers, getting them ready to go out the door. So what he's doing right now is he's pulling back all this fabric we have in the back of the overcoat here. He's pinching it and he's going to pull it all back, just like so, and he's going to fold it inwards. I'll then put my belt on, making sure it's centered in between the buttons and also with the V of my overcoat. He's going to make sure that my keepers are 2 inches from the belt buckle, and he will also make sure that the bottom of my pant legs are even with the bottom. We don't want them too high and we don't want them too low. Everything with the uniform is in detail, everything from top to bottom, everything about a tomb guard is in detail. This is where we go and rouge up all of our metal pieces and all the pieces of our uniform. And we'll take our metal pieces and then we'll rouge away. The first thing that I'll do is when I come in the morning is I'll take out my uniforms, and what I'll do is I'll go over the measurements of my blouse again. Everything has to be precise and perfect. And then what we'll do after we finish measuring is we'll go over our whole uniform with tape. We'll also go over our entire uniform with a lighter, getting off any stray strings that you might find. Burning your yellow piping. It takes a soldier from anywhere between 2 to 4 hours to get a complete uniform up and ready for the day. We always want to press our uniform after a day of working, so that way our uniform is fresh and ready to go. A lot of time and detail goes into these uniforms. We'll spend about 4 to 5 hours shining our shoes, so that's about 2.5 hours on each shoe. And once we think it's good enough and shined, we shine it again, and we shine it again, and we shine it again. And like a lot of tomb guards down here say, you can never shine shoes enough. We have a 5-day work set where we work 24 hours on and then we get 24 hours off. So we'll do that for 5 days, but then we'll have a 4-day off where we get those 4 days off to recuperate. Right? Hey! There's not really words that can describe walking the mat. I've done a few good things in my life, but I say that walking the mat is probably the best thing I've done because I'm a very patriotic person, and to walk the tomb is something that I will never regret, and I can only hope that other soldiers can feel the same way as I do. It's an honor every time I step out in the plaza.
Incredible, such discipline. Alison Kenworthy joins me on set now. She shot that, interviewed the guys. I don't know where to start because, and it's also the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, now they just call it Tomb of the Unknowns. We all know what it means, and what they do is so important for the country. The shining of the shoes, the polishing of the brass, the buckles, everything, it's just amazing.
It is. If you're not attentive to detail, you will not survive there. I got the overwhelming feeling that these soldiers are so proud to be there, they're so honored to be there, that spending 5 hours shining their shoes is the least that they can do.
Now, when they're walking the mat, they've got to, are they counting also?
They are, because I said, what are you thinking about? And they said that they're counting steps, 21 steps, back and forth the entire time. So if they lose count, they're in trouble. 21 steps, 21 gun salute, yes,
it's all tied together.
Honor.
Now, what happens if a bee or a fly or a mosquito lands on their face?
They don't touch it. They can't flinch, they can't itch, they can't scratch, nothing. They have to be in complete, they can't do anything.
Before we wrap up, is there any one thing that you were left with besides just all this shock and awe that they're doing? I mean, anything that really surprised you about this?
They're just so proud, and I felt very privileged to be spending time with them down there in their quarters. I mean, this is their life. They live there for 24 hours at a time, 24 hours on, 24 hours off, and this is their life.
And the attention to detail, absolutely fantastic. Alison Kenworthy, thanks for coming on The Trending Show.